Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Rosalind. On this channel, I feature self-care, lifestyle, and inspiration. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about basic etiquette for classy women. Let's get started. All right, so the basic etiquette that I want to talk about today, this is tried and true, everyday, never ever is going to change. It's not faddish, it's not based on the times. It is just something that you should do just to be a very polite person and to be a very kind person. So the first thing is really just being naturally yourself. Be yourself in every situation. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are so unique. There's no one else out there like you. I think I mentioned in a post, if you're not following me on Instagram, go ahead, click the link in my bio and follow me on Instagram. But everyone has a different genetic makeup. Even a identical twin has very different fingerprints. So you are unique and you want to make sure that you use that uniqueness to your ability. Be yourself in all situations because no one can bring to the table what you bring to the table. No one can think like you think. No one can do what you can do. So just rest in that and just be yourself. The second one is probably a no-brainer to most people, but it is saying thank you. So simple, only takes you a couple of seconds to get the two words out. But saying thank you is so important. If someone is holding the door for you, if someone hands you something, just saying thank you is a polite and nice thing to do. Also saying please. Please is also a good pleasantry that you want to practice saying. Some people don't say please, they just say what they want to say. And it can come off at times very demanding or very, straightforward. And some people are aggressive or passive aggressive, and that's just kind of how they flow. But it's so important that you are speaking to someone with a kind tone and just saying please. It's only going to take you, again, a few seconds to say that word as well. And also saying you're welcome. If someone says thank you, you are basically acknowledging them by saying you're welcome. You're acknowledging the fact that they did the deed or whatever they did. And that in itself is just being kind of kind and considerate to that person. The next one is to give a genuine comment. Now, sometimes you can get in these sticky situations where you're not really sure what you want to say. You may like some aspect of whatever it is, but you want to get in the habit of making sure that when you do give a compliment, that is very genuine, it's from the heart. My daughter, every time we go somewhere, she's so obsessed with nails. So she's always looking at the people that are ringing us out at their nails. And if they're beautiful, she's like, oh my gosh, your nails are so beautiful. And so my son one day, because my daughter always says this, he mentioned to this lady, he was like, your nails are so beautiful. And I kid you not, there was nothing on her nails. They were just plain, just nothing. And I was so embarrassed. And so I had to talk to him afterwards and, really kind of explain to him. And I mean, he's only 4, so he really doesn't get it. He really doesn't understand. He was just saying something nice because he was so used to my daughter saying that. So I guess he wanted to take it upon himself and say something nice to the cashier. So he did that. But I think in all instances, it is so important to be very genuine when you are giving someone a compliment. And I think it just helps on the side of kindness as well. The next one is don't be boastful, don't be arrogant, and don't be loud. I kind of, formulated them all together because they all kind of intertwine, but I think it's more so of being aware of what you're saying and what you're doing. Sometimes we say things and we don't think about how it is related to the other person, but just sometimes really just considering what you're saying and how you're saying it. It is also a matter of self-control. Sometimes when we get something, we're so excited, we want to go tell, the world or other people, but you have to make sure that you're not coming across as arrogant or boastful when you talk about things, or prideful. You don't want to seem very proudful. You want to always deliver with confidence, and you want to be able to tell people about some of the things that you have. But again, the delivery is very important. Now, the next one can be a little tough for people, it is to listen before you speak. So it depends on the situation, but a lot of times people will listen and they're not actively listening. They're letting you get finished with what you are saying so they can, basically pounce and say what they want to say. And it may be irrelevant to what you've been saying. It may be something that they've thought about a long time ago, and this is the perfect opportunity to just kind of say it. Usually it happens during a heated argument or what have you, but you want to make sure that you are always in control as far as having self-control, being able to sit and listen to the other person speak before you speak. Also thinking before you speak. I think it's so important to think about what you're going to say, how you're going to say, how it's going to be delivered, how it's going to be received. And a lot of times we know when we're in general conversation, some of the things that we can say and do to push people's buttons. I know how to push my husband's buttons. I know how to push my sister's, but I know the things that I can say that will really get them upset. And so those are things I stay away from. I just make sure that whatever I say, I'm trying to use kind words always. And it doesn't always happen that way because no one's perfect. I'm not perfect. So I may get upset sometimes and I may say something that's out of pocket. But I make sure that after that conversation, we both had some time to think about it. I go back, I revisit it, I apologize for what I've done, and then, I move on. But just making sure that you are actively listening when someone else is talking to you. The next thing is don't criticize or complain. I've met a few people in my lifetime that complain about everything. And what it does, I guess, when you're in a group setting is it kind of just brings the energy down in the room or wherever you are. If someone's always complaining, if we're on a trip and someone's complaining that it's so hot, everybody else may be thinking it's hot, but we're not necessarily saying it's hot. It just makes everybody feel a little uneasy, and we're just thinking, oh my gosh, if we could just get somewhere warm so this person can basically shut up and stop talking about their hot. So I've kind of been there and done that. So I don't like to be around people that complain a lot. It's okay to state your opinion about something. I mean, that's totally fine, but complaining is something totally different. Oh, the service is horrible, the food is horrible, saying this stuff really is not going to make the service any better. It's not going to make the food taste any better. You complaining to your friends or a group of people about something that they have no control over just really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So let's try not to complain and try not to criticize. Well, if you're at a restaurant, that waiter is moving so slow, they should do X, Y, Z. You don't know what that waiter is going through, what process they have to do. You're just on the outside looking in. So you just really don't know, what's going on. So instead of criticizing, if you can't be a point of positivity or you can't help out in some type of way, it's probably just best not to say anything or just think positive thoughts or think if you were doing it, how you can do it better. So the next thing is to be punctual. I think it is so important to be on time. And I have this thing about being late for anything. I usually like to leave the house at least 15 to 20 minutes before I'm supposed to arrive because you never know with traffic or you never know with just anything can happen and you can be late. And sometimes it happens to the best of us, but just making sure that you are punctual on time. I like to arrive earlier than I'm supposed to. So again, I do give myself that cushion. Always did that at work. So I've never actually been on a job and gotten written up for being late. And a lot of times you don't get written up for jobs for being late unless you're late like a couple of times. I think most jobs give you like 3 times or something like that before you get written up. But I've never had that to happen to me because I would always leave super early. Sometimes I'd sit in the parking lot and read for 15, 20 minutes before it was time for me to actually go in. And I'd always go in early. If the elevator wasn't working, I go, to the steps. You can't say, well, the elevator wasn't working and I'm late because the elevator wasn't working. Well, the elevator is not your boss's problem. You getting there, being in your seat on time is, what's more important. So being punctual is so important. My time is valuable. Your time is valuable. Whoever you're meeting up with, their time is valuable. If it's your friends or if it's your family, you want to make sure that you are always showing up on time, because it's just more professional to be on time, and it's also courteous and kind of the other person's time for you to be on time. And the last one is to look your best. Now, your best could be a t-shirt, it could be jeans, and it could be some sandals or some tennis shoes, but just looking clean, neat, and put together. I do talk about how you can elevate your look. I'll put a card above so you can check that video out. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.